Hello. Happy December. Oh my goodness. The last month of 2021 is officially here. How is that possible? If you are catching me live, if you are catching me on the replay, say hi. Let me know you're here. I am so excited to share with you the forecast for this month for a few reasons. Number one, 2021 has been all about the energy of understanding what is freedom to me. What is freedom on my terms? We will have gone through an entire process this last 11 months where it was all about looking to all the ways that we may have created false traps and blocks and holdbacks in our lives in order to see the illusions of the limits that we've created. And I can't help but marvel at the perfection of this beautiful, supportive universe that we live in, that on this 5 energy year, 2021 being a 5 energy year, we get to wrap it up with an 8 energy month, which is December. December is an 8. So, like I said, we've gone through this entire 2021 year looking to shatter the illusions of where we're stuck, where we're trapped, where there's limits and stuckness and chains and shackles that if we were to actually look at the situation differently are not real. We're being asked to collapse these traps and to know the true nature of our freedom. Okay, that was the whole goal of this year, is to know the true nature of our freedom. And we're wrapping up the year with this beautiful 8 energy month, which is all about understanding abundance, and abundance being your birthright. And so oftentimes when we are experiencing, what we might say is a lack of abundance, right? We are experiencing limit. We are experiencing feeling held back, right? And we have an opportunity in this 8 energy month to really transmute the energy of lack and shift it into abundance. And what a perfect way to end off the freedom year, right? To me, it's just the most beautiful way to end it. So if you're catching me live, catching me on the replay, say hi, let me know you're here. I'm going to check to make sure through my Facebook that this is working, because sometimes StreamYard is weird with comments. So yeah, I don't know why it does that. Hello, Miranda. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining me. Okay. The term abundance is a term that I use, but it also kind of bugs me a little bit. Why does abundance bug me? Because the word abundance actually means plentiful. When you look at the Latin roots of the word, it means an overflow. Okay, so you can have an overflow of good stuff, but you can have an overflow of bad stuff too. You can have a massive abundance of what you do not want in your life. So to use the term abundance without a qualification or a definition is actually problematic in my mind, because abundance just means a lot. So I actually like to take time to qualify abundance. For me, means wealth, well-being, and fulfillment. Now, we're going to get into the definition of abundance a little bit more in a minute, but let's start off with today's energy, right? We are on a 9 energy day on the first of the month, which means that we are going to have an opportunity to let go. We are going to have an opportunity to complete. We are going to have an opportunity for some endings. We are going to have an opportunity to release some things that no longer serve us. And, what I'm really feeling is coming up around here is some of the stories that we have around why we are not abundant, why we don't have access to abundance. And we all have stories that hold us to our current reality, right? I know for me, for those of you who've worked with me in any of my trainings or classes, one of the stories I sometimes share is like the excuse around having children. That was something that held me back for a really long time. It was like, well, I can't be more successful. I can't grow my business more. I can't this more or that more because I have kids, right? And I only have so much limited time in the day to go around, and I need to take care of my kids. And I had this belief system that being a mother held me back in business. Well, once I was able to actually collapse that belief and replace it with the one that being a good mom makes me an awesome business owner. The skill set that makes me a good mom makes me brilliant at supporting my clients. Once I really owned and claimed that, I no longer was held to the lack of time, right? Because that was my story. I don't have enough time. And I realized that I actually could play with time in a different way because I was actually more leveraging energy than time. It wasn't about how many hours were available to me. It was what did I do energetically with the time that was available to me. And so when people talk about this idea of collapsing time, that's what they're talking about. They're not actually, well, maybe they are actually collapsing time. Who am I to say? But they're playing with the energy of it. They're playing with the energy of it. And energy is infinite. There's an infinite amount of energy available to you. So if you understand how to shift, to modify, to adjust, to change the relationship you have with energy, you can change anything you want from a finite, limited resource to an abundant, infinite resource, right? So today, it's like, what are the stories that I have that are stopping me from having abundance on my terms? What are the stories that are holding me back from being successful, being wealthy, experiencing business success, experiencing beautiful relationships, whatever it is? What are the stories that I'm telling myself as to why I cannot? Okay, so here's how you handle today. Here's some journal prompts. You ready? You might want to write this one down. This is going to be a good one. So, what is it that I want? First, write it down. What do I want? Okay, I want more meaningful relationships. I want a more abundant business. I want no debt. I want whatever it is. Write down what you want, and then I want you to write down, why do I not have that? Just so you can be aware of the story. Why don't I have that? Let me just actually be aware of the story that my subconscious mind is running. Because today I'm going to have the opportunity to poke some holes in it. And you don't have to prove it completely wrong. You just have to have some questions and is that really true? Okay, so whatever the story is that really true? And can I find evidence in other people's stories, in the world around me, that it's not true? That's your challenge for today. And as soon as you can start to poke some holes into these elusive belief systems that keep us kind of locked into our history versus creating our future, you've got some beautiful potential you're opening up to you, especially by Friday, the 3rd. So the 3rd of the month, we are entering a new moon on a 2 energy. So this is a really important time for you to actually decide, what does abundance mean to me? So I want to challenge you to define abundance on your terms. What does abundance mean to you? I know I shared this example in one of my courses just a couple of days ago that, I had this belief for a while that if I grew too much in my business would become overly complicated. And so I kind of created a wall between myself and my business growth because I believed that if I grew, my business would become too complicated. And I didn't want a complicated business. So I was afraid of growth because I didn't want a complicated business. But as soon as I redefined business growth on my terms, a new possibility was created for me, right? I'm like, okay, I'm not afraid of growing. I'm afraid of the complications. How can I grow a business that is easeful and simple and spacious, that honors my values, that lets me do the work I truly want to do? That's what I really want. So as soon as I shifted my definition of business growth just a little bit, all of a sudden I was available for it, right? So this is my homework for you on the weekend from, starting on Friday the 3rd. What does abundance mean to you? When you are living a truly abundant lifestyle, experience, relationship, finance, work, professional, personal, whatever it is, what does it mean to you? What does it look like? For me, abundance looks like well-being. Like I feel well. I am well. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, I am well. Right? And I know what that feeling of wellness feels like. And that's my most important indicator for my abundance, is that I feel well. And then I know that the spin-off of me feeling well means I get to show up beautifully in my relationships, and I have rich, meaningful connections and friendships and connections with my children where I can be present with them. I can be there for them. I can love them. I can hold them more deeply and more fully because I am well, right? I know that when I'm not well, when I'm tired, when I'm burnt out, when I'm exhausted, I get cranky, I get irritable, I get short, and none of those things equal abundance in my world. So I know that abundance for me starts with my well being. The second piece of abundance for me is me really living into my values, right? So for me, my values are connection, freedom, adventure, and pleasure. So abundance to me is an abundance of freedom, adventure, connection, and pleasure. That's what I want. I want more of that. More of that, please. Right. And so I'm going to take some time this weekend to reevaluate my definition of abundance. And I invite you to do the same. We're given this beautiful opportunity to channel in this energy that we want to expand with this new moon. So this is really powerful, this 8 energy month. This is one of the activation days that you have available to you. And I would honestly argue that it's probably the most important activation day because it's the day that you decide. We live in a world that's going to support our free will, right? And so nothing happens without your choice. Nothing happens without your decision, right? The universe is going to co-create things for you, but you're not going to be able to actualize them if you don't choose to get on the bus, if you don't choose to get on board. And so the third of the month is really important to get you on board with what is abundance on my terms, because this entire month of December, you guys, we have the potential to activate abundance from a new paradigm energy of infiniteness versus the old way of believing where I had a finite amount. There was only this much available, and the early bird gets the worm, and if you don't eat first, you don't eat, or I don't even know, like all the stories that we were weirdly told about the finiteness of time, the finiteness of money, the finiteness. Well, if you actually dial all those relationships back a second, they're all based on energy first and foremost. My energetic relationship with time, my energetic relationship with money, my energetic relationship with the work I'm doing. And my energy is an infinite resource. And actually, through the right practices, I can grow my energy, which means I can grow my relationship with time. I can grow my relationship with my work. And when people talk about collapsing time, that's what I believe they're talking about. They're using the energy wisely to shift their relationship with something that some people might perceive as finite, but it's not. It's not finite, right? It's determined on your energetic relationship with it, which is infinite. And it's determined by your choosing that, because you certainly can have a very finite relationship with time when you choose that, right? It's a practice too. I'm not going to say that you don't have your moments where you're stuck in the finiteness of time. I had one of those moments this morning where I was like, how do I do all the things in one day? Right? Well, as soon as I took that position, I was actually believing in the lack and the finite more than I was believing in my energetic relationship to actually that time was there to serve me, and that it was there to support me, and that it was going to help me get everything I needed to get. Right? And so to really focus on that instead. Okay, so the next really important day that we're going to be facing is December 10th. And Heather Green, if someone's listening, can tag her. She asked me about the energy of December 10th because it's her birthday. Happy birthday, Heather. December 10th is an important day for all of us, not just Heather, but it's an important day for all of us because this is another window of opportunity, another portal where we have the opportunity to revisit some of those contrasting definitions of abundance that will have come up. Because on the previous Friday, you made a declaration to the universe. You made a declaration by saying, this is what I believe to be true. This is the definition of abundance for me. This is how I want to feel. So you make that declaration on Friday, and then the following week, the universe is going to show you all the times in your life where the past belief systems manifested today. Right? Like what you believed yesterday or a week ago or a month ago or a year ago is part of your today's physical reality. So you have to notice where there's an incongruence. So you're going to be spotting the incongruences the week of the 6th. So if you have a journaling practice, take some time to write them down. Notice, this is incongruent with my belief system around abundance. This is incongruent with the life I'm creating. This is definitely a past manifestation because this is not a match for my current belief systems. right? And just like affirm that. Because on the 10th, which is the next Friday, it's really about shattering and releasing some of those illusions. So I invite you to do some energy work around it, write a journaling note, burn it, do whatever you need to do to release and let go of some of those familiar belief systems that may have held you in the past. And feeling held can be nice, but feeling held can also be limiting, right? And so, are you willing to let go of some of them and choose a new way forward? And, you know, the question that came to me as I was working through this, before hopping on this call with you guys was, what if the old way of doing things is not working anymore, right? Like, well, not what if. Clearly, it's not working anymore. But what if the fact that the old way of doing things isn't working anymore is exactly the sign that you need to show you that your new desires are possible? When you see something not working in your life right now, can you take that as a sign that what you truly want is possible? That it's calling in what you truly want with that energetic gap. Can you feel that? So if there's a certain way you used to be around certain things and all of a sudden they're not working, that is the sign you need to know that the new way, the new path that you have in your heart is the way for you to move forward. So shattering illusions, that can feel hard. My invitation to you is, what if it actually makes my life easier? Sometimes in the fear of the unfamiliar, we go through a physical contraction sensation in our body, right? And you'll recognize this. It causes your body to like tense up, to freeze, to contract, to hold, right? And in that, you build up an energetic wall. You become, I sometimes joke about it being an invisibility cloak. People can't see you, your clients can't see you, your family can't see you, people can't hear you, your needs feel unimportant to people. It's just because you have your invisibility cloak up. Like, if you actually let it down, people could see you and hear you and feel you and acknowledge your needs and try to meet your needs. Imagine that, right? So when we have a change to make and it causes contraction, we freeze and we put on our invisibility cloaks. Sometimes loosening the grip on that fear can be actually easier than we think. By having the conversation with ourselves of, oh, I can see I'm contracting right now. Okay, I wonder what it is that I need to honor and nurture myself right now. I feel this contraction. It's very uncomfortable. What do I need? I need to sit down with a soft blanket and a cup of tea by the fire and just take a minute to nurture myself, to connect with myself, to reset and regulate my nervous system, right? So if you do nervous system work, energy work, this is a great time to implement that or to reach out to a practitioner to support you, right? And then it's the conversation of, okay, I see you're doing a new thing. That takes bravery, that takes courage. I believe in you. I'm going to walk with you. And can you have that conversation with yourself? Can you say those things to yourself? I know it's scary to let go of some of these old ways of being, but I got you. I'm going to walk with you. We're going to be okay. We can do this together. I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm not going to walk away. I'm going to stay with you. And you say this to yourself. And I know that sounds a little funny. I'm not going to walk away from myself. How am I going to walk away from myself? We walk away from ourselves all the time. We abandon ourselves all the time. And it is one of the worst things we could possibly do because it erodes self-trust. And if we erode self-trust, we erode self-confidence. And if we erode self-confidence, we erode self-worth. And it creates a downward spiral in our lives. How do you abandon yourself? You feel a feeling, think a thought, do a thing, and you leave. You don't let yourself be in it. You don't let yourself be with it, right? We disassociate with food, with TV, with drugs, with alcohol, whatever it is, and numb and abandon. That's the same thing as a child cries going unattended. Do you know what I mean? We abandon ourselves by not being with ourselves when we're going through something, being present and mindful and like having our own back. Like we can do that for ourselves. And the funny thing is, the more you can do it for yourself, the more the world around you will do it with you. The more you will have friends and loved ones who will be like, I'm going to walk with you. I want to support you. Let me co-regulate with you, right? And you can invite that in. Okay, so that was the 10th. I have a lot to say this month, apparently, guys. It's 20 minutes in and I'm like not even halfway through the month. Leave a comment. Are you still here? Are you with me? Is this landing? Do you have any questions? Let me know where you're at. Give me some feedback so that I can know what's landing and what's making sense with you. What are you going to use as to what I've shared so far? Because this information is an energetic transmission. Yes, it's going to shift you on an energetic level. Yes. But after the energy comes the action. And when you take action on it, that creates a transformation. The energy on its own, it's passive. It's what you do with the energy that's going to make a change. So you get to experience this and then you get to decide, what am I going to do about it? How am I going to implement it? How am I going to take action? How does what I'm receiving right now support the desires that I have, the goals I have, what I want, right? We all want something. What is it you want? And how are you going to use this to help you get it? Because we live in a world, a universe that's friendly, that has your back, that wants you to succeed. And that's what all this information is available for, is to help your success. Okay. The next really important day, you guys, I'm so excited about this day. The freaking 18th of the month, Saturday the 18th, 8 energy day, 8 energy month, and it's a full moon. So everything I've said so far is ramping us up to this energy on Saturday the 18th. Can you please do yourself a favor and carve out some time on Saturday the 18th to honor your abundance of your birthright, of wealth, of well-being, of living a fulfilling life, of having values alignment and values expansion? Can you carve out some time to honor that? I encourage you, if you have a circle of people you can go to, a sisterhood or a community, whatever that looks like for you, if you have a best friend, whatever that looks like, or if it's on your own. And I'll hold this space virtually. Comment in the chat and let me know. And we can have this like virtual ceremony together. I invite you to take some time and honor and acknowledge your definition of abundance on your terms. Let yourself open to being available to it. Let yourself open to being available. And if you are the type of person who can do some ceremony or some magic, some Reiki, some energy work, some numerology, some tarot, whatever it is, you can be asking yourself questions like, how do I open to the abundance that's available to me on my terms? How do I open to that? Do some physical embodiment work, some dance, some movement. Invite your being, your physical being, your body, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual being to open to the abundance that's available to you, because you guys, this is a huge energetic day. It's so important. So take some time in ritual and in ceremony to acknowledge it, individually or in a group, whatever you have available to you. Reach out to a mastermind, reach out to a community. And I encourage you. Now, I will also say that it's not like it's a one and done. Like if, I'm busy on Saturday, I couldn't do it, so I missed the boat. No, you do not miss the boat. That window of energy is available on either end. So anytime in the weekend. And we don't have to make it as big of a deal. We can make it as big or as little as we want. It can be as simple as writing in your journal for 5 minutes and lighting a candle. Okay? It can be as big or as little as you want. And then, okay, so comment, let me know. Are you guys going to do the ceremony? I know I am. I'm really excited. I actually have already started planning some of the magic that I want to do. So I'm really excited about it. If you have ideas that you want to share with people about ritual and ceremony that you're going to do to honor this day, pop them in the chat so people can borrow your ideas. If you're a person who leads something like this, pop it in the chat so people can check it out. Okay. The 20th. The week of the 20th, you guys, we enter a new manifestation cycle after that activation window. So the activation window being the 18th of the month, On the 20th of the month, we enter a new manifestation cycle. So the ceremony and ritual that you initiated on that weekend is going to start you into a new manifestation cycle. We start on a 1 energy day, and you are going to be ramping up your experience of the definition of well-being that you just anchored in. Okay? You're going to be ramping up your experience of the well-being that you just anchored in. So I want you to play a game, a little abundance game. Yes, I would encourage you to write out your definition of abundance on a cue card. Okay. Abundance to me is I feel abundant as whatever, some kind of affirmation statement. Write it on a cue card, put it on your bedside table. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to read it out loud to yourself or in your head, whatever. And then I want you to go about the day and take mental note every single time you experience something that is a match to your definition of abundance. We're playing like the matching game. Like, when you were a kid and you'd like turn up the card and it's like, oh, I got Elmo. And then it's like, oh, I got Cookie Monster. And you're trying to get the Elmo and the Elmo to match and then you win. This is the game we're playing. Okay. So you say your definition to yourself first thing in the morning, and then you go about the day looking for matches as to people, circumstances, situations that are a match to your definition of abundance. And then bonus points if at the end of the day, you take out your journal and you write them down. Write them down. What were all the things that you came across that were a match to your definition of abundance? So many of us are actually closer to our definition of abundance than we realize. I really want you to hear that. We are closer to our definition of abundance than we realize. But we don't let ourselves have it because we've become so habitually addicted to struggle. We are addicted to struggle. We love the drama of it. It's so crazy. We love to complain about it. We love to see it on TV. We love to act it out. We love the adrenaline. I don't even know. The cortisol, I don't even know, that comes from it. I don't know why we are addicted to it, but we are. And so because we're addicted to the struggle, we never let ourselves relax into the abundance and the well-being that we actually have available to us. So what if you actually let yourself fully receive? Like, can you let yourself receive it? Can you let yourself, is it safe to receive the abundance? And so many people have these ideas where it's like, well, if I acknowledge that my life is so great, that's going to just fuck it all up. The shoe's going to drop. My sales are going to disappear. My freedom's going to disappear. I'm going to look ungrateful. People won't like me. It's not true. These are stories that your fear brain will continue to tell you to keep you at arm's length and keep you safe. Not safe. It's just familiar. It's just normal. It's normalized everywhere. But what if you can actually give yourself permission to be like, you know what? My life is pretty freaking awesome. I freaking love my life. Look at the spaciousness I experienced today. Look at the bliss I get to experience today. Look at how much joy I get to have when I do this work, when I hang out with my children, whatever it is, right? And look at your definition of abundance and see all the matches that are happening. And the cool thing about this is you guys are going to ramp them up. Starting on the week of the 20th, you're going to ramp it up. It's going to happen more and more and more. So let yourself feel it, let yourself have it, let yourself receive it, and affirming to yourself, it's safe to receive it, right? This is where EFT can come in really handy as well. And then, okay, so the game, comment, let me know. Are you going to play the game with me? I'm going to play the game. Let me know if you're going to play the game. And then the next really important date is the end of the month on the 31st, when we actually exit the month with this amplified creative abundance energy, right? So whatever you have started to anchor in 2021 wants to have fuel placed on the fire. There is an energy of fuel in the fire. There is an energy of this is naturally going to expand with the 3. 3 is an expansion energy. It's naturally going to expand. So it's your job to just kind of put the things in place and then let that expansion energy sweep them away and expand them, grow them, amplify them. So that is kind of how the month is going to end. And I mean, it's really this beautiful opportunity to really activate abundance amplified, abundance on your terms amplified. So we have a lot of beautiful a lot of beautiful opportunities this month. If you guys are curious to know how your ruling numbers play out, I had a few questions about this. People saying, well, I'm a ruling number this, I'm a life path that. How does that play out? I'm going to share some affirmation statements in the next couple of days that will help you see how that plays out. I'm also going to have an opportunity for you to get a private, a custom forecast, meaning it's specific to you and your life path and your energy. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about that. And what that's going to look like is it's going to be a forecast for 2022 according to your unique personality and your unique code. So if you want to know information when I put that out, just comment or DM me or whatever, and I'll be sure to share it with you when it becomes available. Or obviously just keep an eye on things here because I'll be sharing it here. And it's an opportunity for you to plan your year ahead proactively using the energetic influences that I'll be sharing. Okay. So it's going to be a lot of fun. These are some of my favorite things to do. You guys, this is a practice I do for myself all the time on a annual, weekly, and monthly basis. I look at very specific things in my chart to plan out my life and my business. And this is what so many of my clients have learned how to do. And some of them have some beautiful offers right now for year ahead readings, which I highly encourage you to check them out. And if you want to learn more about it, then just reach out to me and let me know. So, okay, action step. What's your takeaway from today's call? What landed? What are you moving ahead with? I want to know. Share in the comments below, and I can't wait to connect with you some more and keep me posted on what's your definition of abundance. I want to know. Have a great day.